What's going on, everyone? DSP here with a channel update. It's been a while since I did a channel update, hasn't it? Well, I think because mostly I've been answering a lot of people's questions in the Ask the King series and also in my Week in Preview series, so there hasn't been a lot going on. However, I have a lot of good news that I'd like to talk about right now. So let's get started. First of all, the website, thekingofhate.com. Lots of you know about it. About 8,000 people are now registered users, and every day there's something like over 2,000 guests that check out the website. What I want to let you know is, first of all, the main page, the page where a lot of people used to have problems trying to access it, especially with Internet Explorer, has now been completely redesigned. If you go to it just right now, take time out, go check out thekingofhate.com, the main page. It's great. Brand new design. It's got the latest video, or at least within, say, the past hour to 2 hours, from DSPGaming is right there, right in front of you, so you can watch it right on the main page if you want. There's also links to basically like the past 15, 20 videos that have been uploaded to DSPGaming. So if you're interested in seeing what else I've been doing, maybe not the most recent video, but maybe the playthrough before, you can kind of figure that out by looking right at the main page. It's really cool. Then, on the left-hand side of the page, it has updates from the King of Hate HD. So if you want to see if I put anything over there, if you want to see if I have a new Ask the King, for example, that is actually linked on the left-hand side of the page. So it's really nicely clean-cut, completely redesigned, loads super fast now, unlike the previous one. I know there was a lot of graphical things and pictures that were taking a long time to load. Really great. And I do want to say special thanks to Foos, who is a administrator, well, not administrator, but moderator on the site, / one of the head people on the website, and she's been doing a lot of really cool site improvements. If you haven't been to the site recently, or maybe you were turned off a little bit because you have Internet Explorer and it wasn't working, I definitely urge you to go over there and check it out. I mean, basically, if you don't want to go to all of my channels to find out what's going on, that's going to be the place to go to figure out what game I'm playing, what's the newest part, if there's a new update video, anything like that, right there on the splash page, thekingofhate.com. Also, I did mention this a couple weeks ago, but just to reiterate if someone didn't hear about it, as you know, I use the forums of thekingofhate.com for many different reasons, and one of the reasons is to get questions for my Ask the King series, of which there will be a new episode next week. And so there's a forum thread there for it, and what has now been enabled is the ability in the thread for Ask the King to either vote up or down questions for me to answer. So if I look at the thread, not only will I be able to pick and choose some questions that I like in particular, but if I see there's a bunch of questions there that people all voted up and they want to see me answer, it's probably a much stronger chance that I'll answer those questions. So go check that out as well. Okay, so some other developments as well outside of my website, thekingofhate.com. As you know, there's also the website don'tblowthis.com, which is for the Super Turbo revolution, basically the movement to get Arcade Super Turbo back into the competitive tournament scene, and that site's maintained by Howard, by John Rambo, by Chris Doyle, and that site now actually has forums completely up and running. So if you want to be part of that discussion, if you're interested in Super Turbo, you're interested in the streaming that we do from time to time, head over to the forums and go check it out and talk it up. That's pretty cool too. There's now actually a Super Turbo forums on the internet. There was never anything like that. Concentric to the game. Now it finally exists. So check that out. Some updates. First of all, as you know, as I said, these first 2 weeks of April were going to be very slow. I talked about this in my my Week in Preview video this week. Because there's no new releases. There's no new retail releases. Let me restate that. What happened was, I didn't know this, but there's a game called Red Faction Battlegrounds. It's a game that you get on Xbox Live or PSN, and it was supposed to originally come out in March, and then it got delayed, and no one really knew when it was coming out. I never knew that it had gotten a new date, so I was a little confused about that when it was going to come out, and I had no idea. I just found out the game's coming out today, Tuesday. Now, by the time this video gets uploaded, it might be Wednesday, but April 5th, and it's going to be on PSN, and supposedly, from what I've seen online, it's supposed to be free for PlayStation Plus users. So there's absolutely no reason for me not to check out this game. I think I'm going to be checking that out this week, so it'll give me at least some new content of a new game for this week. In addition to that, remember this week I am going to be doing some other things, like I'm finishing Dynasty Warrior 7. By this point, you probably have already seen the rest of the campaign for the shoes story, and there will be more of that coming up this week. I'm also going to try to jump online with a lot of the games that previously I had and played online, because what I want to do is get up to snuff, because next week, as I mentioned in the weekend preview video, but just in case if you didn't see it, I am going to be doing a fan appreciation week all next week, every day, Monday through Friday. I'm going to be playing different games, and some will be on Xbox 360 and some will be on PlayStation 3. So there is going to be a split this time. No one has to worry about being left out, because the last time I played mostly Xbox 360 games. But it's going to be all kinds of stuff. Killzone 3, Dead Space 2, Homefront, Crysis 2, WWE All-Stars. That's just off the top of my head, like 5 games. Definitely Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. A lot of people have asked me for that. And since I started talking about this, a lot of people have messaged me and said we want to do another Red Dead Redemption co-op, because it was so much fun the last time we did it. So I have that on the table right now. The thing is, with only 5 days, I have so many games that are possible to play, and I would prefer to play newer games, you know what I mean, rather than some of the older stuff. But we'll see what happens. I haven't made my decision yet, and there will be a video coming up on DSPGaming later this week to give the schedule for next week of exactly what's going to be going on what day, so you know when to be looking for me. So here's the deal. I have more information on how to make this work, okay? First of all, Xbox 360, there's no problems whatsoever. It's very easy to do. All you'll need to do is, once the schedule's out, okay, during whatever time frame I announce I'm going to be playing a game, all you're going to have to do is go onto Xbox Live and send me a message. And it doesn't have to be a friend request, just a message saying, Phil, I'd like to play such and such. Or you could just send me a message just with the name of the game, Homefront. And I'll know, okay, this guy wants to play Homefront. Or girl wants to play Homefront, obviously. And when I see that, I'm able to, while I'm in the game and creating a game, I'm able to invite people straight from the messages. I can just invite you straight to the game. So it's really easy. With PlayStation 3, it's not so easy. From what everyone's been saying, for PlayStation 3, unless someone is on your friends list, you can't invite them to a game. Which to me is like, that's absurd. And here's why. Unfortunately, since I started having, YouTube popularity, and, my name started becoming known on the internet, I get hundreds upon hundreds of random friend requests. And right now I can tell you, my PS3 inbox for friend requests is completely full. Problem? Both PS3 and Xbox 360 have this problem, so don't think that I'm like hating on PS3 here, but you can't clean out your friend invites unless you delete each one individually, manually by yourself. And then, to make it even more difficult, okay, check this out, you can't accept a friend invite or send a friend invite unless you have 100 or less total friends and invites in your box. So here's the hypothetical, because it's not really hypothetical. Here's the situation. I have one friend on PSN. It's John Rambo. That's it. That's the only friend I have. I have 99 friend requests sitting there, so my box is full at 100, and because of that, I'm unable to add friends. I would have to literally sit there and delete, 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 and it's not even that easy. It's go to the name, highlight the name, press a button, go to a menu, tell it that you want to delete that friend request. Are you sure you want to delete that friend request? Yes. Then it goes away. Then it goes back to the beginning of the menu, and you have to keep going over, over and over and over in a loop. It would take me literally, it would take me over an hour to just empty the box once. And here's the problem with that. As you know, a lot of people are going to want to play these games, Killzone 3 and Dead Space 2, with me on PS3. I'm going to get more than 100 friend invites if I do it this way, okay? I'm going to get more than 100 friend invites that day, but I'll only be able to see the first 99 people who send them to me, and as I accept them, the spots will fill up. I'll have even less room to get friend invites, and so basically, it's not going to work. It's impossible for me to make it work, okay? I'll never see anyone but the first 99 people or whatever who sent me the friend invites. So, unfortunately, it sucks, but we've been trying to find a workaround. In my weekly preview video on Monday, I kind of asked the fans, please go to my website, thekingofhate.com, and there's threads over there discussing how can we work around this. Well, someone thinks they found a workaround. I haven't confirmed it yet. I'm going to have to test it later this week when I get some time. But basically, here's a workaround. Is on PSN, as you know, there's PlayStation Home. And PlayStation Home has something called the Gamers Lounge. And when you go in there, if you have a game inside of your PlayStation 3, you can actually create a lobby for that game in PS Home. And then from there, you can invite people to the lobby, per se. So I would go on PS Home, I would have, let's say, Killzone 3 in my PS3, open it up and say, I want to create this game, create the match and all the parameters around the match, whatever those parameters would be, and then I'd be able to create the match and invite people to the match based off of this lobby I created in PS Home. I don't know, I've never done it before. Very few people apparently have done it before because no one uses PS Home. For everyone who's been telling me, they're like, Phil, we don't use it, it's a piece of garbage. But I don't know, this seems like maybe the only way, the only practical way to get matches going with fans, because I can understand outside of a situation like mine, there's really not that big of a deal, because when you think about it, oh, big deal, you know, okay, I have 50 friends on my friends list. If I'm going to play a game, I'm going to play with my friends. I'm not going to invite random people to my game. So if I could see there why it wouldn't be an issue. But for me, I need to be able to invite random people, and I need to be able to invite them without adding them as a friend, because if I add them as a friend, now there's less people who can even send me the request to play in the next round of games, and I have to keep adding friends and deleting friends, and it's not going to work. I'll spend more time logistically adding friends, deleting friend requests, looking for new friend requests. I'll spend more time doing that than playing the games. So it's just not going to be worth it, and it might not even work properly. So if anyone's used PS Home to do this kind of thing, that would be pretty cool. If you could comment on this video, or if you can head over to thekingofhate.com, the forums, you'll see in the DSP playthroughs area, there's a couple of people who started threads and were discussing it and realized, I guess PS Home is going to be maybe the best way about this, to go about this. Yeah, so if you have experience, please let me know, because I've never used it before. I'm going to have to start farting with it later this week, and I really want to get this going. I feel bad. I feel bad that Sony failed to design a product that's user-friendly for this kind of purpose. Sony, when they designed you can tell, when they designed PSN, and the interface of the PlayStation 3 and the way that it works with PSN, they were very narrow-minded. They didn't see big picture. They didn't think that, oh, gee, maybe someone who's famous or someone who's well-known might want to play with people who aren't their friend. They didn't understand that someone who's well-known might have 100 people who send them friend requests, which fills their box, and now they're screwed. They had blinders on like this, like, well, you know, 75% of our audience will be doing this, so this is all. But then they included things like Bluetooth, which really makes no sense, because the whole reason that most people don't use headsets on the PS3 is because Bluetooth sucks. I have Bluetooth headsets for my phone. They're awful, okay? You can barely hear. It's not good. It's just not good technology. My wireless headsets for Xbox 360 work way better than anything I've tried to get to work with the PS3. So I don't know where Sony was coming from. We're going to include all this technology no one asked for, but then we're going to have a network system and an interface system that's not as good as our competitor who's already had their console out for a year before us. Whatever. I don't know. I don't work for Sony. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. But I have to apologize, because I want to play these games with the fans, and I don't know any easy way to do it. Because of the way they've designed this console, there's no easy way to do it. I explored, I even considered, alright, I'll add people as friends so that we can do it. And I said, wait a minute, it's not practical, because Killzone 3, for example, I'll go to set up the game. Okay, so the game's created. Now I got to invite 23 people. Well, I have all these friend requests. So before I even set up the game, the day before I would have had to go on PS3 and delete all the incoming friend invites, alright? Or the friend requests. I have to delete them all. I guarantee within a day it would be full again, because that's what happens. Every day I get so many requests, the thing just fills up. So who knows if when I go to play Killzone 3, if any of those requests will even be legit. Then I'd have to try to find, out of, let's say, the 95 friend requests I have in there, try to actually find 23 people who are sitting there waiting to play and hoping that I'm going to send them a friend invite and that they're going to notice that they get a friend invite from me when they're just sitting there. All that, just think about all that time. So I have to delete 90-something friend requests, then I have to get new friend requests in, I have to send the friend requests to the people, wait for the people to accept the friend request, then I have to invite the people to the game. It's going to take me like 3 hours to get one fucking match going. Unacceptable. And it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. And, I mean, worst case scenario, what I'll end up probably doing is just making a lobby called Darkside Phil and just sitting there. It's a public lobby, and hopefully people see me on at certain times and try to jump into my game. But besides that, I don't know how else I'm going to make it work unless this PS Home thing works. So hopefully the PS Home method works. Again, if anyone has experience with it, please let me know. And I will try to at least test it out sometime later this week when I have time. So, alright, so that's like a status update for everyone on what's going on. Again, check out thekingofhate.com. It's been redesigned. Really nice interface now. Really good website. Don'tBlowThis.com's forums for Super Turbo discussion. Really cool. I'm going to be trying out Red Faction Battlegrounds sometime this week as long as it comes up. Actually, right now it's not even 9 o'clock yet Eastern Standard Time, so it's not even on PSN yet. I can't even download it. Of course, by the time this video is uploaded, it'll be a lot later. And then finally, Fan Appreciation Week next week. More info to come once we figure out PS Home if this works. And once I get a definitive schedule, what games I'll be playing at what times on what days next week. So I'll let everyone know. So, alright, that's it. Thanks a lot. I'll see you guys later, and stay tuned for more info.